It's been over a year since I made one of these videos, so why not? Here's 8 new mechanics / abilities that could be added to ForHonor, and a big thanks to everyone who made it to my stream and helped me come up with some of these. Your help is always appreciated. So, let's begin. Number 1. Jumping attacks. Animation wise, these are already in the game, and they would allow you to jump over moves like Valkyrie's and Shaolin's sweep and Jang Joon's kick in any attack that targets your legs. Basically, if a move qualifies as one of these, then you can jump over them. More sweeping attacks could be made to give this ability a bit more of a use, and it would let you display your game knowledge just to get a bit more damage and a correct read. 2. And this is a huge one. Universal change. Chip damage is increased the lower you are in stamina. This would be a gradual change, and eventually chip damage would double if the enemy is out of stamina, which would finally make punch through a useful feat. And this is especially cool because it's damage that relies on the enemy's stamina management, which isn't much of a thing these days, and it's a new type of damage that is dynamic and doesn't rely on the unblockable or bash mechanic. And also it just kind of incentivizes people to throw more raw heavies, which is always a good thing. 3. Stun / blind rework. Instead of blinding, it now gives you shaky legs and a small visual effect that lasts 5 seconds. And if you get thrown during those 5 seconds, you'll lose balance and come crashing down, landing the enemy a bigger punish. It's definitely a strong property, so it would be reserved for very specific moves, but hey, why not? 4. Have you ever seen a human practitioner do the infamous double swing, where the attack and then they use momentum from the enemy blocking their attack to strike back from the opposite side? So on a hero like Warden, you could give him the unique ability where if he attacks from the right side and gets blocked, if he then times his input right, then he can strike from the opposite side immediately, which lets you circumvent how ass Warden's light attacks are, while at the same time making that attack predictable because it always comes from the same side. This is a brand new form of offense and could be applied to new heroes. Imagine if the next character does not have enhanced heavy attacks. That's right, his heavies just bounce off. But after one of his heavies gets blocked, he can immediately retaliate with a multitude of different options with different properties, which just saying is a cool idea for a dagger hero. 5. A ducking mechanic. Works as a harder version of hidden stance, but is only able to avoid attacks that come from the left or right, which would of course give you some really nice punches. 6. On heroes that wield multiple weapons, aka the new samurai, which as of this video has not been released, imagine a 700 ms unfaintable zone attack that uses 2 weapons at the same time, the ones that are currently equipped, and combines their properties. So if you're using a mallet, then the zone becomes unblockable, but short-ranged. If you're using a Yari, it gains a big hitbox. And if you're using a katana in one of your hands, then the attack would come out 100 ms faster. Each weapon impacts your zone positively, and you can choose 2 weapons at a time to mix and match combinations according to the situation. 7. Charged dodges. As in you hold the dodge button and something happens. Maybe it carries you further, maybe it gives you more iframes, or maybe it buffs any subsequent dodge attacks you do. It could give them more damage, make them unblockable, you name it. And finally, 8. Emoting after parry or after landing certain moves would have a unique emote animation that will buff you or your teammates or debuff your enemies. This ability would be locked to only a handful of heroes, and essentially, you're abdicating from confirmed damage to do this emote. Some examples are Gladiator going like, "Are you not entertained?" after a parry, which would give him a small damage increase. Raider, if on low HP, would go feral for a second and would cast the baby version of fear itself, which again, doing this emote would leave you vulnerable for a second, so be careful. Or Warden, after getting revenge, would do this unique Inspire-like emote, which would buff your teammates and only your teammates, and the effect would last like 5 to 10 seconds. And I'm sure there's more stuff that you can come up with, so tell me in the comments. What mechanics or cool unique abilities can you come up with and you think would be fun or benefit the game in some way? Thanks for watching. See you next time.